I had a can of Foster's last night. Okay, this is episode this is episode 2 of Blue Collar.
Episode dos.
I went to 7-Eleven. I got those that looks like a an oil can, like a drum of
Yeah,
Foster.
that's what they used to call it, an oil can.
Yeah, but it's 25 ounces of beer,
Right.
and it always reminds me of you.
Oh, because I used to drink Foster's.
You used to drink Foster's when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old. Not consistently, but
Yeah,
when
no, not yeah. Don't make it sound like I drank it all the time. But no, when I did have a beer, it used to be a Foster's.
Yeah, so I was like I had a long week at work and I was driving back to West Hollywood and I was like, man, I just I would love a beer right now. So I go and I got it and I had it with dinner. And in my head I had it that I wanted a Foster's because I knew how much you used to like it and I knew when I would taste it it would bring me right back and it did.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So anyway, uh how you doing?
I'm doing okay. I just got back from my 2 mile walk
Uh-huh.
because it's a nice day. I worked at Julie's place today for a little while, and then she told me about a place where she works out in Hillsdale.
Yeah.
It's a 20-minute workout. I'm gonna check it out. It's a rigorous 20-minute workout, no more than 20 minutes.
Okay. With an instructor?
Yeah, you can have a private lessons, you could do it in a group, but I'm gonna go and watch it once or
Mm-hmm.
twice, talk to somebody, and when I get home from work, I get home from work. I start early, so I get home from work early, so I can go there before mom gets home from work.
Mm-hmm.
And because now that the winter's coming, I'm not gonna be able to walk every day.
Yeah, you don't want to step on a sheet of ice, and
Exactly.
I
Well,
don't
I
want
wouldn't walk if it was icy out anyway. But yeah, I'm going to check it out because I think maybe a 20-minute workout would be equivalent. It would be equal to 2 days of walking.
you should. Everyone always says that resistance training, cardio is like there's no drug that you can take that will prolong your life. Uh,
Right.
as much as just doing those exercises will do by themselves.
TRX was my favorite.
That was cool. I do remember doing that with you. That was
You
fun.
did that with me with Mike Smith,
Hmm.
and I bumped into him a couple of weeks ago. But I told him, I said, you were a big part of my life, and he was because that TRX was awesome. That was the probably one of the two times, best shape I was in my adult life, doing the TRX, and the other time was mountain bike riding,
Hmm.
which I wouldn't do anymore.
Yeah.
No, because
Yeah.
I fall the same way, I just don't land the same way.
Keep your feet on the ground.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So TRX was good because you're really using your own body weight on that,
Yeah.
and I have to see what's involved with this class in Hillsdale.
Well, check it out and let me know how it goes.
Yeah, well,
I was thinking about this morning. I woke up and I was excited to talk to you on this, and I was just a couple things just kind of popped into my mind as far as like what we could talk about. Of course, like I really love the free flowing nature of this. This is cool. Like there's no shortage of things that we can discuss. But I was thinking about the title of the podcast. I'm like, okay, blue collar, and then I was thinking blue versus white collar. And I wanted to ask you, like, what do you think is the most blue collar thing about you?
about me,
Yeah.
maybe about the way I dress for work
That's
every day.
mm-hmm.
And the fact that I don't have to shave for my job. Although when I do go to a customer's house for the first time, I try to look a little more presentable than I do right this second. Um, I'm in a truck every day. Um, the only time I don't associate with other blue collar people is when I'm working in people's homes and talking to them, and then we like meet on the same level because they're interested in what I say, and of course I'm interested in what they say.
Common ground.
Common ground.
Caitlin made a funny comment. She's like, or she thinks that you're this like incredibly stylish dude.
Me?
Yeah, because she met you after the Carhartt uh, explosion across, that when Carhartt came into kind of the modern fashion zeitgeist over the last few years. But I remember you
Uh-huh.
made a comment to me a couple of, like 2 years ago. You're like, "What the fuck is up with all this Carhartt coming into, people wearing it for fashion set, fashion
Oh, I know.
purpose."
It's almost like people wearing ripped jeans or buying ripped jeans. You have to earn ripped jeans.
Look, you're wearing Carhartt right now.
Yeah, I got this, and then I bought these new shirts. This is a Carhartt shirt too. You see it? It's on the sleeve.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? My pants, I got different style pants. The only thing that's not Carhartt that I wear are my socks and my underwear and my boots. My boots are Red Wings because
Um,
it's the only boot that I can wear that doesn't hurt my feet.
Red Wings, Carhartt. These should be sponsors. If this goes anywhere, we should get sponsorships from specifically from Carhartt because like Carhartt, now that they're kind of out there in the fashion world, we got to remind everybody what it's all about and why it was
Yeah.
to begin with. It's the
Well,
rug.
I buy all my clothes at Rugged Outfitters here in town. There's one in Bergenfield as well. I think there's one somewhere else too. But I buy my boots there. I buy all my clothes. The only clothes I have that aren't Carhartt, I didn't buy.
Yeah,
Like mom bought them,
yeah.
you know.
I think the world
Or-
needs a little reminder of what Carhartt is all about.
That's right. It's like me wearing a polo shirt. I mean, come on, really?
Uh,
That's not what I'm about.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So she thinks that
There's
you're
nothing wrong with a polo shirt. Don't get
not
me
at all.
wrong, but that's not me.
Caitlin said that you have this like she called you like older man worker chic with your Carhartt. I forget how she described it specifically, but I was like, yeah, it's true. It's true. And sometimes I wear Carhartt and I'm like, man, I didn't earn this. Although, I have done blue collar work, but not consistently the last 20 years. When I was
Yeah.
younger, I would do it for summer jobs and things of that nature, but I haven't earned it in the way that you have. So I think you should probably pass a test to wear a certain level of Carhartt.
Yeah, you should.
Um, but yeah, this kind of like idea of blue collar, white collar, I could never ever imagine you in a cubicle with a suit and a tie, doing an accounting job, working for the man, 9 to 5, sitting in an office, so it's Betty's birthday and everyone's going to the conference room and eating cupcakes, like that's
We're
not
hanging out by the water cooler.
hanging out by the water cooler talking about last night's episode on HBO or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I did when I first went to college, I wanted to be an accountant for a couple of minutes. And this whole credit to the window, debit to the wall just didn't work for me.
What the hell is that? I've never heard of that.
Oh, it's just a saying, I guess, that accountants use, so you know how to set up your thing. I don't know. I could be wrong. Debit to the window, credit to the wall. I don't know. It's something, wait, something to do with columns. Don't know. That's why I have an accountant. That's why he does what he does,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I can't do what he does, and he can't do what I do.
No, there's no appeal for me in white collar jobs either.
No, I
So
can tell. Well, you don't have one, and you
uh,
tried it, and you didn't like it.
I technically have an office job, but it's an entrepreneur, it's a startup and we can change our settings or
Hmm.
work from all the time. And there is blue collar components to what I do. I mean, there's a lot of labor that we do because we're building
Oh,
products.
well, you have to. Excuse me. And someday you won't be doing that labor.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all just like brute force stuff, but is I don't mind it because I like to work with my hands and I respect that kind of work a lot.
Yeah.
I
Well,
have like a
you put your furniture together. You
Yeah, I do
know.
all that stuff. Yeah, I'm handy. Not as handy as my brother, but I am.
Yeah.
He's kind of that perfect blend of white and blue collar because he's got white collar jobs his whole career, and yet he's just always building something at his house and
Well, do you
refining.
know how many people I know who I work for? They used to be in Wall Street, or an executive in New York, and now they work for Ken Bauer Kitchens, installing kitchens, stuff like that. They stopped what they were doing. They want to do something else. I think that's pretty good.
So you know people who have done that kind of work and felt like there was something else meant for them, and then they went and they started working with their hands.
Yeah. Yeah. They were happy then and they're happy now. Maybe they were just waiting for their kids to get old enough where they didn't have to make as much money. But, you know, installing kitchen cabinets is very, very satisfying. I did that too when I first went into business. We did kitchen installs
Well,
and the electric and the plumbing and the carpentry.
well, you talk about like getting like satisfaction from your work. I mean, with blue collar jobs, it's there's a tangible result of your work. So people who work on their computers and laptops. I mean, you
Yeah.
I mean, you get stuff done, but it's a bit different. You have a more like, what's the word? An immediate, like there's no hiding. Like your work has a direct.
When I walk out the door, I could turn around and look at it.
And what, yeah.
I worked at Julie's today too. Did I say that already?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I did some work there. And that was satisfying. It's satisfying when you do work for friends too.
When you are on a job and you're uh let's say there are people who are kind of like early in their career,
Hmm.
like younger electricians or contractors or whomever. Like what are some like big mistakes or red flags you see these guys doing where you're like you just like inexperience aside, right? Because nothing
Overthinking.
overthinking.
Yeah. Like Mike, you met Mike who works for me. He overthinks.
What's your age difference, Mike, and between Mike and Mike?
Yeah, 24 years. I think he's 48 or 50, maybe just turned 50. So he's somewhere between 48 and 50.
Hmm.
But I always tell him, he's always overthinking something, and it's not that it's annoying, and he knows because I always tell him, don't overthink. I said, chances are you're going to get it right the first time, and if you don't, you fix it.
Hmm.
You know, don't overthink it. Go with your first instinct because
But
you should know what you're doing anyway.
but isn't that something that comes with experience? I would imagine you can't really have an instinctual reaction to work from as much as someone like you can because you just built all that experience over time where you
Yeah.
can make those more
Well, you ask more
on the fly
questions. Don't overthink, ask questions.
ask questions. So people are just doing things without asking for help.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's like a
I
pride
looked
thing
at a
though.
job this week and it is horrible. Somebody right around the corner. Remember the place I showed you, the garage? That's a man cave now.
Hmm.
It's like a little house behind the house. And this is his next door neighbor, and his house is 5 years old, and he's getting a Tesla, and he needs a Tesla charger installed. And he said, "Do you do that?" I said, "I've done plenty of them." So he said, "I have a sub panel here," and he showed me some work that I'm just going to say somebody did, and it was all wrong. you know, and it was frustrating to me to see that because they were just doing it to make things work. And what they left was a safety and a fire hazard in a brand new house. And then he's telling me, be fair with your price because I'm frustrated by this whole thing. I said, my prices are always fair. And I said, what annoys me are the people that don't have licenses, that don't know what they're doing. And that really bothers me. And, again, everybody's good at something. Do what you're good at. Don't guess, especially with electric, plumbing, welding, delivering milk, anything you do. Don't guess. Ask. And it's annoying. And they make it too easy for people to do stuff illegally.
That I can imagine that's super frustrating. I mean, I can understand if you're going to a job and the house is 60 years old and you're fixing work that was built, that was made, done 60 years ago. Like obviously there's been innovation.
Yeah, it was right then. It's not right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
so
was right when they built it, but so many things have changed.
that's right. But if you're going to a house that's literally a new build and you're fixing work that was just done, that's
5 years
just,
ago. Well, yeah, the guy had his whole basement done, no permits, nothing.
well, then whose fault is that? Is that him for not like background
That's
checking
what I told him. I said, I'm not yelling at you.
that?
I'm yelling at them through you. That's what's the aggravating part is. I said, you can't do this. You just can't.
But how was
So I have to fix what the other guy did, and then plus the work I have to do.
did they lie to the homeowner though? Like how did the home,
No, the guy knew that I asked him, were they licensed electricians? He said no.
so he knew.
He knew.
So why did he
Now
hire
when
him?
now when he goes to sell the house, um, there's a chance he would have to rip everything out because they know what was in the house when it was built. And when the town comes in when you sell a house to see what's there, to see if, okay, this wasn't on the original plan. Did you get permits for this? No, I didn't. All right, well, you got to take it down. And plus, you got to pay a fine, $500 fine for each trade that was in there.
Did he know what he was
Plumbing,
getting into?
electrician, carpenter, insulator, whatever,
Did
tile guy.
w- was there like a were they making him a deal because they were not permitted? Like why did he what was in it for him to get non-permitted work done?
Probably a cheaper price.
Okay. So he's just
Price.
guilty. He's just
Guy's cheap. His neighbors told me he was cheap.
okay.
Neighbors I know that are customers of mine.
It's
His
his
neighbors and my customers told me he's a cheap guy.
all
So I
right.
gave him a price. I added a little bit more on for a little aggravation. And he called me today. He texted me and said, do it. I was hoping he would say it was too high, but now I got to do it.
Oh, okay. So you're okay. You're like, okay, it's a good price, but it's also now you're like, great, now I got this job that's a little aggravating.
Yeah. Plus, he's got a pit bull running around.
Well, be careful.
I will. Yeah, believe me, I will.
Be careful.
I've been attacked by dogs before, I know.
You should have like bear spray on your keychain.
I did. Well, I have bears. I have um, bear spray in the truck.
It's not going to do you any good though when you're on the job and the truck is in the driveway.
Yeah, but my screwdriver into the dog's chest will do me pretty good.
That's true. Uh, I know that you got to get, I know you and mom are going out to, you got dinner reservations. Where are you going?
Saddle River Cafe. It's
Okay.
about maybe 15, 20 minutes from here.
What are you going to have?
I don't know. I've been there a couple of times. I haven't decided yet. They have a pretty good menu.
Glass of
When I go to restaurants like that, I usually bump into customers because that's where they live. I usually bump into people I know in restaurants,
You bump
and
into people
mom
just
just
about,
laughed.
you bump into people not in restaurants. You bump into people everywhere.
Yeah, well, when I go for a walk, people are honking at me. I don't know if I'm in their way or not, but no, I know who they are.
No, you are incredibly well known for better or for worse.
Infamous.
Infamous. We got to get your Newman Electric t-shirts made again.
Yeah, I was in Washington Township today, and there's a new store there that does shirts. The
Mm.
shopping center,
Oh,
by
really?
the movie theater, and
Hmm.
they moved Dairy Queen from one end to the other, so it's right next to the movie theater.
Okay. Well, it sounds good. I feel uncomfortable giving Washington Township money, but
Okay. Well, when you come here, we'll look into it.
okay. Well, you gonna have a glass of wine tonight or
So, was that?
glass of wine with dinner or it's Saturday?
Um, I was online before to see if it's BYO. I might just go if they don't serve wine, I'll just have sparkling water.
Okay.
I don't have to have wine.
Put a little lemon in there, alkalize
Hmm.
yourself. But anyway, I'll let you go. I know that you're on a tight time
Yeah, I
schedule.
got to shower and shave. It's been a week or so.
You never know if you run into a new customer, so you got to look presentable.
Yeah. Let's see. So this week coming up, I'm getting my real ID.
Hmm.
I have to go to Oakland for that,
Hmm.
and I just have to gather. I can't believe this: driver's license, utility bill, social security card, passport, birth certificate. Meanwhile, you can't get a passport without a birth certificate anyway. So, but they want both. And then there's other stuff, tax documents, bank statements.
You can't just do this all online and submit
No,
documents.
no, not for real ID
I have
because
a real ID. I don't remember how I got it though.
yeah, it says real ID for traveling.
Yeah, well, California was like first to do it.
Or maybe maybe you know what? I think when I moved there, I had a real ID
Yeah.
when I got my California driver's license.
Uh-huh.
It was funny. It was during COVID, and we went there. The line wrapped around the building twice, and it was like 105 degrees. I think it was 105 degrees, and we get in, and then I had to do the eye test, and without my glasses or with my glass, I couldn't see a thing. She goes, "Ah, you're okay."
Good to
She
know. Good to know we got
And
blind people.
I took like 10 practice tests and the machines were down when I went. So I didn't even have to take a test. I just did the paperwork and walked out of there. Didn't have to take a test, nothing. That's what California is all about.
So they're letting blind people on the road.
Deaf and blind people drive. Yes.
Well, that I feel a lot less safe driving on these streets now, but
Hmm. And then I got some outside work to do. I'm going to be using. Did you meet Mike Catarasso yet? He's your age.
I don't think
So
so.
he's out of his shop is in Hohokus.
Hmm.
He grew up in Norwood. He went to St. Joe's. He knows Cassiola.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Um, Anthony, I guess he knows. How old's Anthony?
2 years older than me, so I guess he's
39 or 40 years
39,
old? Yeah.
39, 40.
Yeah.
One of
He
those
played
two.
baseball with him.
Okay. Uh, Speaking of baseball, I'm gonna throw the Mets game on.
Okay.
And
They started already.
yeah, don't tell me the score. I'm gonna
Okay.
watch it
Let
from the
me,
start. And you go shower and shave and enjoy dinner and say what's
I
up
will.
to
Hold on a second. Ohio State doesn't play today. Okay. I won't tell you the score of the Mets game.
them. Okay, go do what you got to do. I'm gonna let you go.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Add Drew to the list.
He's on
You
it.
got Larry, you got Bob. You can put Brian on the list.
I got a nice little master list for
Now,
upcoming.
how do we do this with if you have two of us here? Do we have to set up a camera?
Yeah, yeah, I'll figure it out.
Okay.
I'll
And we'll
figure
get
it out.
that ring light.
Yeah, we'll see. It won't be where you are. It'll be in the living room, but
Okay.
it might save the guests for when I'm there in person for the first time we do guests. We'll see.
All
We'll
right. When
see.
are you coming here?
I don't know yet.
All right. Well, I'm
Okay,
sure we'll be the second one to know.
you will.
Okay. All right.
All right.
I got to tighten up. All right. Talk to you
Thanks.
later.
Thanks a lot. Enjoy dinner.
I will. Say hello to Caitlin.
We'll do.
All right. Love you.
Love you too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.